right, Dell bought a cloud, getting into the cloud, bought Wyse Technology's cloud computer software and hardware. To tell us all about it, Shara Tibken, and what this means for Dell. This is another move by Dell to get into a market they're not really in right now.
Yeah, I mean, Dell has been making a huge push over the past couple of years to get more into enterprise products. You know, they're higher margin, they make a lot more money off of these than just selling, you know, PCs to consumers over the internet. So this is just another part of their push for that. You know, everybody's going crazy about cloud right now, so if you buy any cloud company, it's like, yay.
Right. So. We should define what cloud means in general, what it means specifically here.
Yeah, well, I mean, in this case, this is for PCs. So, you know, instead of everybody having their own individual PC, you could access, you know, kind of have like a dummy terminal type of thing and access, you know,
But basically all the data is stored remotely.
Yeah, exactly.
It's handled by the company. You just have the box and you have access to it. It's called the cloud.
Yeah. I mean, it makes it cheaper. You can, you know, it's easier to secure. It's easier to, well, theoretically, it's easier to, you know, do maintenance and updates and things like that. You know, instead of those security updates where we have to shut down our computer every day.
For corporate users, it's not something you and I would use.
Yeah, it's well, I think it's mainly geared at corporate users.
But the commercial version for Apple is called iCloud.
Yeah, everything's kind of blurring. You know, consumer and enterprise is blurring at this point anyway.
I mean, what I find interesting about this one, this company they bought, Wyse, is that their hardware and software. So Dell's kind of trying to get both ends of it, which they don't really have right now. And again, like you said, they've been trying for a couple years to get into this. But there is Apple, they're running up against Amazon. I mean, the interesting thing is that when you start talking about this cloud and who's in there, companies that you might not think would be in there are all getting in there. So it's a much more competitive space than just boxes, you know, computers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and tons of startups. I mean, everybody's trying to get involved with cloud. You know, IBM is in cloud. You know, going up against IBM is not ever an easy thing either. So, I mean, you know, it's going up against everyone. I mean, in Dell, you know, they made another acquisition today. I think this is just going to continue. I think they're going to keep up the
And how critical is this for them? I mean, you know, the company, they've sort of been stagnant for a long time. Computers got commoditized on them. How important is this to the company, to the profits?
You know, I think it's pretty important. Everybody's trying to diversify outside of PCs. You know, we saw from the HP incident where they were talking about spinning it off, decided not to, that the companies who have it, it's still important to them. You know, they still need this. It helps them get supplies cheaper, you know, have more of a presence. You know, so the PCs are still really important, and I don't think they're going away anytime soon. But at least in the U.S. right now, they're not really growing.
Right.
You know, there's not really demand for these.
Like a lot of other folks, they're notably absent in mobile.
Not playing I mean, Dell, I think they scrapped their, you know, smartphones
they keep
that
saying
they
we're
had.
going to come back, but they've just basically waited an entire cycle of mobile
I mean,
development.
and when I've talked to their head of strategy, you know, he said that you know, they need to be in mobile, but they more view the kind of the services around it, which this is part of that. You know, this acquisition's part of that, being able to access your desktop, you know, from your tablet or something like that. You know, that could be key to you know, to being there, even if you don't have the best-selling device on the market.
Now, the terms of this deal were not released, right?
No.
Because Wyse is not a big public company.
No.
But what was their revenue? How big is this company?
375 or 345, I can't remember. 375, in their last year. And I think they grew like 45% their revenue, you know, much faster than kind of the market where they're playing in. So, you know, and they're the #1 provider of what they do. So, you know, Dell was buying a market leader, you know, getting in on top. You know, a lot of the questions from analysts were, why aren't you just developing this on your own? You know, you could do this on your own. You know, and a lot of it was, you know, these guys are #1 and you get there right away instead of having to take some time to develop it.
All right, leave it there. Shara Tibken,
Thank you
very much.